should I say Zoom, and so many of our big questions were answered. We learned that Colt has not been honest about his sexual relationship with Vanessa.
Jess, I lied to you about Vanessa, okay?
That's a grown man on a tell-all stage, admitting to a studio audience that he cheated on his then-girlfriend Jess with the woman he is currently sitting next to, a woman who has been his best friend since childhood. The man is Colt Johnson. He's in his 30s. He's a software developer. He lives, and this is crucial for the rest of this episode, with his mother. This is his third fully documented on-camera romantic disaster. And the Reddit consensus on him is that he's a mama's boy cheater. That read is correct. It is also the symptom, not the disease.
I don't make you feel uncomfortable. I love you. You've never done anything wrong, Mom. Please look at me when I talk to you.
Here's what Reddit keeps missing. Colt isn't the villain. Colt isn't even the protagonist. Colt is a renter. The actual lease on every Colt relationship is held by a woman named Debbie. And Debbie has been, for 7 years now, the longest-running cast member of this man's personal...
How long? I mean, Debbie was really blamed for the majority of your problems. Now that Debbie is not in the picture, still, it has really shined the light.
Let me set the geography. Las Vegas, Nevada, a house Debbie owns, a son Debbie raised alone from childhood in that house. The finances set up where Debbie co-signs, Debbie manages, Debbie oversees. A phone plan per multiple franchise episodes that Debbie has access to. A single shared cat that Debbie's name is on. Into this enclosed biosphere, the K-1 visa system has delivered, on 3 separate occasions over 7 years, international women who believed they were going to become the primary adult woman in Colt's life. Larissa in 2018, Jess Caroline, also from Brazil, starting in 2021. Vanessa Guerra, his childhood best friend.
If you're going to talk to your mom, have a little bit more respect because you only get one mom.
Three women, 3 K-1 pipelines or K-1 adjacent relationships, 3 public disasters, 1 constant. Debbie. In every single episode. In the background of every single confessional. In the living room of every single fight. Making sandwiches. Watching the door. Saying she just wants Colt to be happy.
Not just my marriage, but just be on TV together. I mean, that's kind of a whole other thing.
Yeah, it is. I mean, you have to be prepared for it, and I wasn't at first.
No.
Sorry, how can you prepare for something like that? I mean, does it ever bother you?
They were wrong. There was no vacancy. Debbie was not hiring a wife. Debbie was hiring a girlfriend for Colt to cycle. A girlfriend is a temporary position. A wife is a structural threat. And every single K-1 fiancé Colt brought into that house was treated from the day she landed at McCarran like a woman on a 90-day trial at a job where the boss was also the landlord.
I don't make you feel uncomfortable. I love you. You've never done anything wrong, Mom. Please look at me when I talk to you.
Start with Larissa. 2018. Brazilian, loud, explicitly identified Debbie as the primary obstacle to her marriage from episode 1. Larissa got arrested 3 times, fired from the franchise, divorced from Colt, and became the cautionary tale. The Reddit read is that Larissa was unhinged. The accurate read is that Larissa correctly identified Debbie as the dominant party in the household and refused to pretend otherwise. She named the thing. The thing did not like being named. the thing got her deported in the court of public opinion.
Yeah.
Liquid courage.
Even after like all the stuff my dad's done for him, he's still like, disrespectful.
While Andre has been a stay-at-home dad, Chuck has been spending.
Watch the rhythm of that arc. Larissa arrives. Larissa challenges Debbie. Debbie mobilizes Colt. Colt, whose entire adult operating system was installed by Debbie, sides with Debbie. Larissa escalates. Police are called. Larissa is arrested. Larissa is out. Debbie remains. Colt returns to the couch. That arc plays out 3 separate times, with 3 separate women, with only the names changing. It is so consistent that by the 3rd iteration, the franchise stops bothering to vary the setups. The 3rd girlfriend is literally Debbie's friend's daughter. The 3rd marriage happens without Debbie's pre-approval, and then Debbie gets her pre-approval anyway. There is no version of
I just wanted to see the difference of if Debbie was gone, but no, he's a child. He is 100% a child.
All right, so as Debbie was starting her romance with Tony, her relationship with...
And none of this is subtext. Larissa named it on camera within weeks of moving to America. She said more or less, Debbie is the problem, which in any functioning marriage is the kind of sentence you expect a partner to hear and either refute, address, or negotiate with. Colt's actual move, when Larissa identified Debbie as the issue, was to run that information directly to Debbie, who then made it the issue, who then escalated it, who then called the police. The phrase tell on the wife to the mother should not exist in American marital vocabulary. It does here.
Yeah, it's nice meeting you.
I've pretty much been a full-time nurse for this lying, cheating piece of like, I need Debbie to just take over now so I can move on.
Then, Jess Caroline. Brazilian again, Colt is apparently running a very specific recruitment pipeline. And the second we get to a tell-all with Jess and Debbie in the same room, Debbie delivers, on camera, unprompted, the line, "Congratulations on finally getting your green card," said to a woman who is at that moment Colt's girlfriend. Debbie smiled when she said it. That is not a forenoon slip. That is a woman publicly informing her son's girlfriend in front of a studio audience that the girlfriend's entire motivation is transactional and that Debbie is not fooled. That is a power move aired on national cable on Mother's Day adjacent programming.
I want to see someone that really loves Colt, really understands him, cares about him, puts up with his bullshit.
How has this show and the relationships that you've had, Colt, affected your relationship with your mom?
And on that same tell-all, Colt confesses to the cheating. Not just that he cheated on Jess, that he cheated on Jess with his lifelong best friend, Vanessa, which means, and I want you to hold this image, Colt was, throughout his public relationship with Jess, sleeping with a woman he had known since childhood, who was also embedded in his mother's social circle, who Debbie had known for years, who had been a presence in the Vegas house for most of Colt's life, while Jess was in Brazil thinking she was his future. The infidelity was not an affair. The infidelity was an appliance. It came with the house.
While you were in a relationship with Jess, did you and Vanessa sleep together?
You don't have no models.
Colt and Vanessa deserve this water because two light people. Disgusting.
And here is the detail that makes your stomach turn once you pause on it. Vanessa was married at the time. Vanessa had a husband. Colt slept with his best friend, who was somebody else's wife, while Colt had a fiancé in Brazil. Meaning one confession at one tell-all imploded. Colt's relationship with Jess, Vanessa's marriage, Vanessa's husband's sense of reality, and at least one extended family's Thanksgiving. And the network packaged the whole thing as a Colt redemption arc.
Uh-huh.
Jess, I lied to you about Vanessa. Before I met you, Jess, we slept together.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
And then after we broke up, I slept with her.
And he started cheating within the first month. That's the detail from the single life that should have ended his franchise career. Colt admitted on a separate confessional that he began cheating on Jess inside the first 30 days of their relationship. Which means the entire relationship, the promises, the declarations, the film trips to Brazil, the brass ring engagement speculation was built on infidelity from the first kiss. Jess was never, ever in a real relationship. She was in a scheduled filming block. The engagement wasn't a lie in hindsight. The engagement was a lie at the time it was made, already, in real time, on camera.
Hello, Jess. How you doing?
Shut up. I don't talk with you.
I never recognize it.
I recognize you because you are fatter than ever.
At least you look the same, Jess. I mean...
Yeah. You're looking great.
And now Vanessa, the woman he cheated with, the lifelong best friend. Here is where the architecture fully reveals itself. Colt marries Vanessa in Reno, Nevada, without telling Debbie first. This is presented by the franchise as Colt's moment of adult autonomy. This is presented as Colt growing up. And it is, briefly, the closest Colt has ever come to moving out from under Debbie's roof, metaphorically.
I should never have gotten in a relationship with you after Larissa. But I fell in love with you. I love you.
Ooh.
He walked it back within a season. By 2024, Colt and Vanessa are still legally married but separated. Colt goes on Hunt for Love, another franchise spinoff, because of course, and describes them as not really talking. Vanessa's ex-husband, by the way, publicly came after Colt on social media after the tell-all revelation, because Colt managed to wreck 2 marriages with 1 confession. Vanessa had been married when this started. Colt's lifelong best friend was another man's wife. That detail did not get enough coverage. Because focusing on that detail would have required the franchise to notice that Colt is not incompetent at marriages, he is actively destroying them, plural, his own and other people's, with no stated remorse and no visible behavioral shift between seasons.
Wishes the mom was present in the wedding.
Hey, Angela. I'm sorry. No need to apologize at all.
And whenever the franchise pushes Colt to account for any of this, the answer is always some variation of, I love my mom. That is the catch-all. That is the reset button. Anytime the questioning gets too sharp, Colt deflects to Debbie. My mom raised me alone. My mom is the most important person in my life. All of which may be true, and none of which is an answer to, why did you cheat on a Brazilian woman with your best friend, who is also someone's wife? The function of the Debbie reference is not filial loyalty. It is topic change.
Yeah.
No,
No.
Vanessa is just my friend.
Here's the pivot. The thing I want you to see now. Every woman Colt has dated on camera, Larissa, Jess, Vanessa, arrived as the potential primary partner and exited as a casualty. The only romantic relationship that has lasted through Colt's entire franchise run, the only one that survives every scandal, every cheating confession, every arrest, every Reno wedding, is the relationship with Debbie.
If you're going to talk to your mom, have a little bit more respect because you only get one mom.
Debbie is in the house. Debbie is on the cash flow. Debbie is on the tell-all stage, delivering the green card burn. Debbie is the one Colt runs to after every fight, during every fight, before every fight. The filming schedule could be 2018 or 2024. Debbie is in frame, making a sandwich, watching the door.
Not gonna last. She's not gonna put up with this stuff. There's no way.
Asuela was even asked about disrespecting Kalani and calling her out of her name during their family road trip. Here was his response.
And the fandom has caught this. Reddit hates Debbie more than it hates Colt. That tracks. But the fandom is still framing Debbie as meddling. Debbie is not meddling. Debbie is operating. She has, for 7 years, successfully repelled every incoming international woman from her son's household. Her batting average is perfect. 3 women, 3 exits, 0 successful integrations. That is not an overbearing mother. That is a closed system. And Colt is both the product and the guard dog. And Debbie is not stressed about it. Debbie is calm. Debbie is calm the way the house is calm, because the threat always gets neutralized before it reaches the bedroom.
At this point in my relationship with Jess, I know it's over. There's no point in trying to fix it. I most definitely was not a good boyfriend to Jess. I've made so many mistakes, it's gonna take a long time for me to reflect and process everything.
And I want to be very careful not to turn this into a Debbie roast, because Debbie is not the story. Debbie is the structure. Roasting Debbie is like roasting the load-bearing wall of a bad house. She did not choose to be the load-bearing wall. She became it because the other adult in the house, her son, never built one of his own. And at a certain point, a 34-year-old man who cannot close a marriage without his mother's permission is not a victim of his mother. He is a participant in an arrangement they made together a long time ago, before any of the K-1 fiancé.
If you're going to talk to your mom, have a little bit more respect because you only get one mom.
Here's the zoom out. American reality television loves to sell the mama's boy archetype because it flatters the audience. Oh, look at this poor man-child, how embarrassing. We would never live like that. But the mama's boy archetype requires the audience to believe the son is the weak party. That is not what is happening here. The mother is the weak party. Debbie needs Colt at home more than Colt needs to be at home. Colt is Debbie's emotional partner. The K-1 fiancés were interlopers.
He broke up with Jess.
Colt, did you and Vanessa...
To be fair, the walk back, Colt is not a passive victim of his own mother. He's a grown man. He made every cheating decision himself. He opened the apps. He bought the ManyVids video. He flew to Reno. He's an adult. He's responsible for his own infidelities. And no amount of structural framing gets him off the hook for hurting 3 women in a row. Debbie didn't make him cheat. Debbie just made sure he never had anywhere else to land. The cheating is his. The house is hers. Those are different crimes with different defendants, and we can hold both of them at the same time. The story the franchise wants you to watch is Colt and his K-1 girlfriend of the season struggle toward commitment. That's not the show. The show is Colt and Debbie, and everyone else is a guest appearance. The Brazilian woman is a guest. The best friend turned wife is a guest. The tell-all audience is a guest. The viewer is a guest. The only cast members on the call sheet for every single episode since 2018 are Colt Johnson and his mother. The franchise has been running the same two-hander for 7 years and telling you it was 3 different shows. And when Colt is 60 and the franchise has moved on to whoever the new Colt is, and Debbie is somewhere between a recliner and a memory, he will be the only man on American television whose obituary will read, survived by 3 ex-wives and the woman who actually raised him. All 3 wives will be quoted in the obit. Debbie will not need to be quoted. because the whole document is already Debbie's. And he will still be on that couch. The couch is the whole show. It was always the whole show. The 3 ex-wives were set dressing. Debbie is the lead, and the lead never leaves the stage. If you made it this far, you either love me or you're looking for something to yell about in the comments. Either way, like, subscribe, and tell your sister.